presentations will be made available to all the participants, and we will put them all on the website.
I'm with
Brian O'Riordan. I'm the Executive Secretary from the Low Impact Fishers of Europe. We represent the small-scale fishers from the Baltic to the Mediterranean and Black Sea. We have roughly 10,000 fishermen members from 32 organizations from 15 member states, and we've been going since 2012.
You've been speaking about Brexit, about the presence of women in the fishing sector, about climate change, and how a lot of fishers.
The focus today is the women.
Yeah.
This is the European network of women in fisheries, which is AKTEA. So we are trying to help AKTEA get back on its feet because it was a very successful network back at the beginning of the 2000s. And since then, it's faced a lot of issues, difficulties to organize, difficulties to get funding. So these next 3 days are all about AKTEA, and particularly women from the smaller scale fishing sector, the mariscadores, the rederas, so small entrepreneurs, women folk from fishing families who are working in small scale fisheries. So the connection between the women who are here and small-scale fisheries in general is very close.
And how do you see the interventions so far?
Great. I mean, there's so much passion, so much commitment, so much, how do you say, I mean, this shared understanding of the resource, of the work, the different aspects of it. It's really fantastic.
Are women underrepresented in the fishing sector?
Yes, of course. I mean, women are underrepresented in the sense that they don't have a voice. We see the fishing sector as being dominated by men in terms of you see the at-sea fishing activities. Men go to sea. Women go to sea more and more, but it's traditionally a man's occupation. And the organizations are set up for men, by men. So women's access to the organizations, to decision-making processes, always has to confront the male thinking, the male organization, the male point of view. So that is a real challenge, how women can get into the formal associations like the cofradías, like the producer organizations, and find their voices and vote there.
Some women have shared with me the idea of increasing these kind of meetings because they find these kind of meetings very important, more important than ever now. So after these meetings, what?
Well, we hope there will be more meetings. I mean, we had the intervention from the flags, so we see the flags as being an instrument that women can use to lever funding. We have people from the European Commission here, so we know the social dimension of fisheries is very much under discussion at the moment. So how the new EMFF, which is now in the trilogue, how that can be used by women to get to meet, to have productive meeting. I mean, this is a kind of brainstorming and sharing, and we hope to structure tomorrow and the following days, have a working group who can take forward some ideas and have more structured meetings, more business-like meetings to organize. So yes, definitely.
Μαζί με τη Βικτόρια κάνουμε τα λογιστικά του πατέρα μου, καθαρίζουμε ψάρι.
I'm Stella and I'm from Cyprus.
I'm Elena and I'm from Cyprus.
And what is the message from Cyprus in these kind of meetings?
That we have to be present in each of these meetings, and it's a good opportunity for us to promote the main issues and the problems and challenges of being a woman in fisheries in Cyprus.
What exactly you do in Cyprus? Your work?
I'm an assistant fisherwoman. I'm a daughter of a fisherman, and I also do the organization task for our association. We are the community of Ziggy professional fishermen, and we have a fishing harbor there. And I'm just trying to help the family income to to help my father and also to do something that I love.
We have a fish market in Cyprus. Also, we have a fish boat, and we buy the fish from the fishermen, and we sell it to the restaurants, to the local supermarket, to the hotels. But our priority is to sell the fish in the restaurants in Ziggy, in my country.
Do you think women are underrepresented in the fishing sector? There's a little presence in women in
Yes,
the
of course. They are not so. They are not so visible when it comes, because the majority of the fishers they are male, of course.
We're from Galicia, and as you see, the delegation from Galicia is a big one. How do you see their vindications and their what they have told us this morning?
It's a good example of dealing with women interest, and I think they do a lot of work, a lot of hard work, and I'm very impressed and very inspired by their stories and their reality in Spain.
Same here.
Okay, well, you're very welcome in Galicia.
Thank you.
We'll
You too,
visit Cyprus.
you too in Cyprus. Maybe
Yes.
we can do some exchanges and share our
Oh,
values
excellent.
and
That would be great.
and our
Thank you
our
very much.
experiences. Thank you too.
Di questo di AKTEA, soltanto abbiamo un problema se il nostro Stato ci aiuterà un po' a partecipare con voi. Dobbiamo vedere.
I'm from Croatia, Svelana. So tell me about Croatia and the situation of women and the fishing sector in your country.
Well, women in Croatian fisheries are very present in fishing fleet, aquaculture, so as in the processing sector. For now, we can say that about 6% of all labor forces are fisherwomen, but they're not so visible, and there is a lot of space for progress in this area, so we need to encourage our women to participate more, to give them voice, to just to make them visible and valuable in the sector.
Have you enjoyed the meeting here?
Oh yeah, I really enjoyed so much different stories and so much different experiences. It was really very, very valuable and very nice to hear so much different perspectives.
I'm from the Galician delegation. Your impressions of the Galician delegation and the problems the Galician women have faced?
Well, it's really impressive what kind of progress they made just in a few years, and how really strong they are in their fight for their rights. And I think our women can learn a lot. I also learned a lot in those 2 days, but our fisherwomen can really exchange a lot of experience and learn a lot of their experiences.
And the last question, do you think these kind of meetings should take place more often?
Yeah, of course. I'm really looking forward to the next meeting and maybe study visit. And I'm really sure that at the next meeting, more of our fisherwomen will be involved.
South of Italy made small scale fisheries. Normally it was proved that they were cleared, but they had some problem with their flights, so I chose that for them.
In Italy, we have a long tradition of small-scale fisheries, so I do research about that, and I help fishermen and fisherwomen to explain what they need and what they are doing in our island. So the message is to continue to do this job. It's a family is traditional, so it's good that they continue to do that, but also that they need the help of the administration, of researchers to have a sustainable development. So we are in the right way.
In the fishing sector, the situation with women in Italy, how is the situation?
Okay, in Italy we are not very well represented as women, but we have just such local communities with some women that make fisheries. For example, in Sicily, in the north part of eastern Sicily, we have the family Donato Mancuso, where two sisters continue to make their family traditional fisheries of their grandfather. So the two girls, they are continuing to make small-scale fisheries. So with a very small boat, daily they go at sea in the Strait of Messina to fish, and in summer they make also diversification. So also with tourists, they continue to show their job.
Okay, are you enjoying the meeting so far?
Yes, I was never in a place where there was such more women talking about small-scale fisheries. So it's for me it's a very pleasure to hear comments from all over the world about fisheries by women.
And your impressions from the Galician delegation? What?
I think it's a good example that, for example, Italy have to follow, because first things for us is difficult to make an association.
Right.
They have many associations, not one. So we have to apprend from them.
Or in areas where there are no organizations, for example, for Malta, there are no women organizations. So, but there are fisheries cooperatives, and they have no women representatives on there.
Martesta Gabriela from Malta.
From Malta. How do you see the meetings? How do you?
I really enjoyed this meeting. It was an experience. I learned a lot from it. And when I go back to my country, I try to do some fishing experience too, to tourism.
You live in a beautiful place with beautiful small boats, very traditional. What problems do you face in the fishery sector in Malta?
The small-scale fishermen, yes, they've got a lot of, how do I say, they have to fight for their rights.
Mm-hmm.
We need more MEPs to talk for us.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were mentioned flags. I seen it on the map on Malta. There's no dot. And I asked for it. And they told me, ask the government.
Okay.
So we're going to make an issue this for the government. So they put our name there too. So we get some more funds.
And it's more difficult for women there?
It is, yes. More men, it's always a man. Yeah?
What kind of works do you do?
You know, I sell tickets for tourists to go with the boat.
So are you expecting good goal from these meetings? Are you expecting a good result from those meetings?
Yes, and I also want to exchange.
Mm-hmm.
I go to visit other countries and they come to Malta to see how we work and how they work. So we learn from each other.
So from an international point of view, this is very good for you.
Yes, it is. It is.
How do you see the Galician delegation and what they have explained?
They are very strong.
Okay.
They are very strong, yeah. I really appreciate how they represent their country.
We are very worried about the leadership of women in this sector, and we want to work about that.
How do you see this kind of meetings? Very intense.
Yes, very intense, and we need a lot of meetings like this, and we need to make links with other women from other parts of Europe and other parts of the world to learn and to exchange opinions and experience, because we have the same problems.
Yeah.
Exactly the same problems.
What challenges do you face? Do you think the more important is the presence of women in top positions, or?
I think the main challenge is the change of mind in general in the society. We have to know that we need to be there. We need to fight for that, and don't be shy about to say we want to be there. and we have a voice, and we want to be listened. And that is the main challenge, I think.
And one last question, because the Galician delegation is the biggest one here. Do you think it's important for the Galician women to be here and have a voice?
Of course, definitely. Definitely. It's important to be everywhere. Everywhere.
We are with Kira from Ireland. Very intense meeting.
Very intense meeting, wonderfully intense. I have to say that we don't have an established network of women in the fishing industry in Ireland. So my biggest takeaway from this meeting is, first of all, being inspired to connect with other women in my own community. I myself come from a very, very small island, so that means for me reaching out to women from other islands and women from maybe mainland fishing enterprises, but also realizing and understanding that this is so much bigger than just an Irish issue or just an island issue. Connecting with other women from other small islands, other European areas, the solidarity and the takeaway of how important it is for us to be involved and for our voices to be heard is absolutely invaluable.
So you think these kind of meetings have to be very often, or do you have to repeat these meetings and try to make stronger links between countries and women from
Sure, yeah, I definitely see the value in holding this meeting again or holding additional meetings or having the ability to check in every so often. I mean, this absolutely is a room full of very hardworking professionals, and it can be very difficult to break yourself away from the day-to-day work. But I do think it's incredibly important for us to meet face to face and shake some hands and really get each other's stories so that we can take that motivation back and improve not only our day-to-day working conditions, but really improve our structure and our voice and be heard overall.
And the last question,
Sure.
very, very short, is about the connection between Ireland and Galicia, because we are very old nations, fishing nations, and women, I think the presence of women is very strong, but we cannot see them. So your impression about the Galician delegation?
The strength and resiliency and the power that comes from the Galician women is inspiring beyond words. I am very, very honored and humbled to have received stories from women that have accomplished so much. I look forward now to taking those lessons home and really, really sitting down and doing my research and imparting the strength that I have been given from these powerful women in my own life and in my own career.
With Dr. Ruth Brennan, just how was the meeting?
It's been a really fantastic 2 days to see all these women in fisheries gathered together. What really struck me from yesterday was when all the women were telling their stories, the sense of solidarity that there was, as women recognised each other's stories, they recognised their struggles, they recognised the achievements, and several times there were these spontaneous rounds of applause as people were supporting each other. And a lot of women today, I noticed, mentioned how emotional that they felt that these 2 days have been, and that was certainly something I felt as well.
You're from Ireland?
I'm from Dublin in Ireland, yes.
Yeah, Dublin. Fantastic. From your perspective, what do you think is the most important issue about the women in the fishing sector? The problem you face, the situation you face?
Yeah, I don't think there's any one issue because there are many interrelated issues, but one of the common themes that keeps coming up is the continued invisibility of women in fisheries.
Right.
Whether that's just because certain studies only take account of women who are fishing in boats and don't take account of women's other roles in fisheries, or whether that's because women who play a role in fisheries don't necessarily even recognise themselves as being involved in the industry as having a very important role in fisheries. The issue of women's work in fisheries often being unpaid or low paid, and there being a lack of a focus on gender in fisheries generally, which leads to and perpetuates inequalities for women.
So it's been a great experience.
It's been a really good experience, yeah, I'm delighted to have been here.
Well, thank you very much for it.
Thank you. Okay.